We're now in possession of two major permits: the industrial siting permit, which is a special permit in Wyoming for big capital investments, and then April of this year we got our mine operating permit. It's conditional on it was conditional on three things.
Welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Geroge Bee. He is the CEO of US Gold Corp. And George, it's good to see you again. How are you?
Good to see you, Steve. I'm excellent. Thank you so much.
Good.
Great
Good to have
autumn
you
at the
along.
moment. Yeah.
What's that, sorry?
It's a great autumn so far. We're just having lovely weather down here in Wyoming. Wyoming can get kind of windy, but it's beautiful today.
Good stuff. Well, that's good to hear. And that's what we're here to talk about is your CK Gold project, obviously. And more importantly, I want to just get an update on where things are at. Because I know that last time you and I talked, you talked about some studies that were work was being done, some permitting work was being done. So it's a good opportunity to get everyone up to date on where everything's at.
Well, Steve, this has been an interesting project. We took it from a standing start in 2020, September of 2020, and we're now in possession of two major permits: the industrial siting permit, which is a special permit in Wyoming for big capital investments, and then April this year we got our mine operating permit. It's conditional on it was conditional on three things. One, a water discharge permit. Secondly, us putting $5.1 million of bonding down, which has been approved. And we're just waiting for our air quality permit. We'll have that here in the next few weeks. And we're fully permitted, ready to go, shovel-ready project. It's a little bit of an anomaly in North America, because we've as I say, we took it from a standing start, 2 years of baseline to a fully permitted project, in 4 years. So that's awesome.
Yeah, George, just on that, there's a lot of people that are looking for projects that are at the stage that you're at, and especially being in the jurisdiction you are and very mining friendly. Do you feel very confident in the project and everything when you sort of have all these boxes already ticked?
Yeah, look, we operating in Wyoming, as you say, it's a mining friendly state. They know the rules of the game here, so we really understand what's going on. The authorities are very helpful. So we worked through the process of the permitting. We made a few changes. What we're currently looking at is an update to our December 2021 pre-feasibility study. We've done a lot of the feasibility study work, but we wanted to decide whether we're going through conventional flotation technology or to an alternative like Glencore Technologies Jameson cells before we finish off the feasibility study early next year. So it's going well, and we're in this unique position to be shovel ready at a time when copper and gold prices are soaring.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You mentioned that they are soaring, doing very well. Obviously, that really helps with the economics of any project, especially one like yours.
Yeah, and when I reflect a little bit on the last few years, Steve, the thing is that it's been tough to find financing. Obviously, there's a lot of interest in the sector now to find new discoveries, and that's great. But the challenges associated with getting a permit, especially in North America, are are manyfold. And we're just lucky that we're situated on private and state ground, so we've been able to get a permit. And I think you can probably count on one hand the number of permitted projects, shovel ready, ready to go at this time. So we're staged to catch this wave.
George, that's an interesting point you bring up, and the fact that is a lot of these new projects that we're seeing obviously have to go through regulations. Some of them are federal, some of them are state regulations, some of them are overseas. So there's a lot of things they have to go through. So are you seeing that a lot of the current mines that are operating are trying to stretch out the number of years that mine is able to operate just because there's not as many new ones that are coming on stream?
Well, look, the with all due respect to some of the people I've worked for in the past, the big companies, a lot of the new exploration and a lot of the feedstock of new resources into the industry has been from the junior sector, and then acquisitions have taken them out, and the larger companies and the mid tiers put those assets into their portfolios. Um, so there hasn't been a lot of activity. There's been a dearth of capital into exploration in the junior sector. So the majors, the mid tiers, they've had to prolong the life of their major assets, and that's probably why you see all-in sustaining costs increasing, because some of the assets are getting tired. So, as they get tired, you strip ratio goes up, the mining costs go up. So, bringing in uh, new projects which have a competitive all-in sustaining cost. I mean, our initial PFS was $800 per gold equivalent ounce. Means that we've got a really good margin to the gold and copper price at the moment. So yeah, I think that there's a challenge there to maintain that AISC in check, and there's not too much out there in the market with a really competitive cost structure.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. George, thanks so much for your insight. Really appreciate that. Good conversation this morning, and let's talk again soon, okay?
Thank you, Steve. Always a pleasure.
All right, George Bee, the CEO of US Gold Corp.